and on the north side of the dirt. It is your man D-Real coming at you. It's Thursday. Oh my goodness. So this must be Thursday Live. And here I am with you. Well, with you. You, the viewer, who gives me so much inspiration and joy, who gives me so much to build upon. So, Mr. Rogers style, let me look at you and say, hello and welcome, neighbor. That is creepy, huh? Nah, but Fred Rogers was cool. Fred Rogers was the real one. Did you know Fred Rogers used to be a Navy SEAL? Salute, Mr. Rogers. Groovy Fee in the building. What's up? Nancy the Spider. Boy, do I got some stories to tell you tonight, buddy. And y'all pull on up in here. It's only like a minute 20. We're going to be talking. We're going to be talking about a lot of stuff tonight. We're going to talk about Adam Strange. Who? Adam Strange? Yeah, Adam Strange. That's his name. And that ain't no code name. That's Adam Strange. DC Universe. We're going to be talking about him because we have not one, but two versions of the figure that we will unbox tonight. So I'm excited for y'all to be excited about that. We're going to talk about Mr. Terrific. We're going to talk about Mr. Terrific, period. You know what I'm saying? But most importantly, we're going to talk about Mr. Terrific becoming something or somebody. Mr. Terrific is already something or somebody. Yeah, creative thinking, wishful thinking, whatever you want to call it. He has not yet broke that echelon to where we're going to start mentioning him in the same tones as other superheroes of color rather than an afterthought or also. So when you name your top 5 superheroes, is Mr. Terrific in the top 3? We'll save that for later. We're going to be talking about black fatigue. We're going to talk about what black fatigue is. And we're going to talk about what people are trying to make it sound like it is. And we're also going to mention the book. Did you know there was a book? See, you just hear stuff on the internet. Don't nobody read books no more. Don't nobody read books no more. That's scary. Okay. I'm gonna leave y'all alone. I'm gonna get up in here. I'm gonna get my notes together. I'm gonna do some things and make some things happen. And we gonna you know what? I go to the bathroom. I will hit y'all. Don't go nowhere. Don't go nowhere. Just talk amongst yourselves. Talk amongst yourselves. And we's back. I'm sorry. I really didn't mean to be gone that long, y'all. But see, when I left, it was only like 2 people in here. Y'all wasn't, and the 2 people in here wasn't hardly talking. So now I come back and they were like, "Hey, where was you at?" Calm down. I'm here now. And the show's gonna go down according to plans. Come on, yo. What is going on, sir? Ain't too much, ain't too much. Grand Madam. Privilege and pleasure. Always wonderful to see you. Always wonderful to see you. Okay, y'all. The usual suspects in the building. I am eventually, for y'all to keep asking, I am eventually gonna get to doing this review. I'm gonna get to doing this review. I promise. It's got to be out this weekend because I gave myself a deadline. And that's a mark to shoot for. Hey, Theo. It's Theo. Hey, Theo. What's up, brother? What's going on? What's popping? What's cracking? What's percolating? Yeah, that's that Theo B. From that, I ain't saying, I'm just saying show. So we got action figures. We got comic talk. We got movie and comic talk. We got talk. Some of it you might find useful. Some of it you might think, this Negro's doing too much. But nah, I'm not. I'm really not, because you'd be surprised what people don't know. You really would. You'd be surprised what people tell you they know. You'd be surprised what people tell you and think they know it, but don't know. See, that's me. As Kamoyo said, sometimes my shit turned into a TED Talk. So I don't know. I'm not gonna try to drone on and bore you or talk you to death, but I am gonna entertain you because. Ooh, got some spit in my throat. I was trying to hit that note. Anyway, because entertainment's what I do. Theo looking like Bishop. Either that or Theo is the prototypical Negro. You know, that's all I can tell you, bro. That mugs feel that way. So a TED Talk is an honor. All right, thank you, Kamoyo. Thank you, Kamoyo, for being my Mr. Spock. Then that would make me Captain Kirk, huh? Riker. And I got the right head. I got the right head for a Picard. Okay, y'all. I am ready to start. If y'all are ready for me to start, since we have already confessed that a TED Talk is an honor, then I'm gonna run it down like this. What is the difference between a boss and a leader? Worf, I like that. What is the difference? Now, I am not insulting anybody's intelligence. If they think I'm insulting their intelligence, please understand there is always a method to the madness. If this is your first go round with me, hang on, because I promise to put you back where you started better than when you began. Ooh, that's good. I'm gonna have to remember that. What is the difference between a boss and a leader? Okay, because somewhere down the line, somebody or society deemed that being a boss was a good thing. But that's not where I'm going. Stay with me. Come on, y'all. Always ready to leap into the foray. Says a boss orders, a leader inspires. You know what? That just like you said, that kind of stuff. That's the difference between, let me take his thing down so you can see the whole thing. That's the difference. That's the difference. That's one of the many differences between a boss and a leader. Bosses take advantage. Leaders empower. Bosses blame. Leaders fix. Bosses give orders. Leaders set the pace. Bosses take credit. Leaders give credit. A lot of people don't understand being a leader ain't always about being in front. Sometimes being a leader is just pointing folks in the direction they need to go. And you don't have to give them any kind of advice or assistance or support. The fact that you know how to expertly orchestrate things shows that you know how to lead. A boss knows how it's done. A leader shows how it's done. Oh, snap. This brother is actually going somewhere with this. Okay. That means a boss is a boss. A leader is a leader, no matter what race, color, creed, gender, all of that. So it's not so much about who you are as it is about the principles you choose to incorporate. So I ask y'all, rock with me, nation, today, this Thursday. Are you a leader or are you a boss? And what do you do that separates you and makes people say, hey, that guy is someone who could lead? Leaders are important. And leading will kind of be a theme of what's going on tonight in this show. I selectively pick my topics because I want them all to specifically point as something that leads or something that was leading or or I'm speaking about someone who is a leader. Because we as a nation are beginning to become bereft of leaders. We got a crap ton of bosses. These people that we look to sometimes to lead us end up bossing us because we put our faith in the wrong individual because we backed the wrong horse. You see what I'm saying? That's the difference between a boss and a leader. So again, I say, who are you following? Who are you listening to? A boss? Somebody who thinks of themselves, or a leader? Somebody who says, I ain't even gonna make it about me. I'm gonna embrace y'all as a group. You dig? Got logo and everything. So again, I ask you, in what you do, the way you walk, the way you talk, all of the things, how you move and live and breathe and have your being, is you a boss or is you a leader? Are you telling these mugs what to do, or are you showing them how it's done? Ooh. That was a jewel for somebody. I don't know who it was, but that was a jewel for somebody. Okay? Actions above words. Be about it. Don't talk about it. Let's get down for, and if we trying to lead, let's get down for the get down. Ain't nothing to it but to do it. Don't talk about it. Don't be teasing and tantalizing, and we don't get down to no leader stuff. I am not sitting around ranting and raving about problems. Let's get some solutions. That's just me. I ain't throwing my hat in the race or anything like that. But if, it is what it is. But I'm just saying, a lot of times we sit around and we complain about stuff we ain't got no control over. And if we don't got no control over it, why are we dedicating so much energy to it? And if we do got control over it, as a fan, as somebody who, traffics in it, exhibit that control. And most of us do. I'm just saying, be vigilant. Again, another jewel for somebody. I don't know who that was for. Here we go. I don't want to miss y'all in the comments. All right, so let me take my little. Yeah. So hey, Paul Martin is in the building. Okay. Paul Martin said, Paulie Walnuts is a boss. Oh, Zemo. I see what you mean. Zemo is a leader. Okay. Graham Adams say people follow leaders because they trust their leaders to take them where they want to go. People are paid to follow a boss. That is a most excellent observation, Graham Adams. Your wisdom is showing. Theo said a leader views their subordinates as invaluable. A boss views their subordinates as replaceable. Yeah. Paul Martin likes both of your points. Theo again says, I wouldn't view it as that individual's call. I think it's those who are around you who will let you know how they view you. One way or the other. Well said, my brother. And Kimoyo says, I have no leaders at my job anymore. Everyone wants to be a boss. When it is a team project, I am in charge of, I work with the team I am given. The other guys, not so much. Well, because as Black people, we are used to struggle, especially Generation X. We know how to make applesauce out of apples. So it is a kind of a thing where if I got to rough it, I can rough it. You don't want to rough it, but sometimes you have to, and that is a good quality. That is an excellent quality for a leader, being able to work with, and I don't want to refer to people as materials, but with the material at hand. Apples to applesauce, oranges to orange juice, that kind of a thing. So then, if we are to get in line with Theo's view here, then who views you as a leader, or who do you think views you as a leader, and who do you view as a leader? At your job, in your life, on social media, wherever you want to, take that to. Go ahead and drop that in the comments. I am going to move. Hey, let me share a action figure. Just popped up out of nowhere. I got this today. Hey, it's all shiny and whatnot. So yeah, it's a big one too, man. He's standing like 8 inches. Yeah, I think like 8 inches. Well, I got where's my ruler? Here go my ruler. I trust the action figure ruler. About 7.5. He about 7.5 inches. That's Terrax the Tamer from Landlac, Herald of Galactus. He rounded out the elemental era of heralds. Okay. Silver Surfer. I always kind of equated that to water. Air Walker, air. Fire Lord, fire. Terrax, Terra, earth. See where I was going with it? So now I have 4 heralds. I saw a custom Airwalker, I think on eBay. Was it eBay? But somebody had made a custom Airwalker, and I was thinking about snagging that. So then I would have all of the heralds of well, not all, because then there ain't there. What is it? Was it Starlight, Starburst, the kind of, I don't know, really alienish looking one. There's her. We got Fallen one. There's no Punishers. Oh, and if you got that Thor Destroyer set, you could there's a Destroyer who was actually Odin loaned the Destroyer to Galactus for a time to use as his herald. I don't know how long that lasted because he got beat up by the thing. Highly questionable employee choice by Galactus. Yeah, when somebody don't do what you want them to do, you don't find a person who's all the way the opposite end of the spectrum. Because the problem wasn't finding somebody who was willing to do that. You know what I'm saying? You picked a ruthless, tyrannical mug to be your herald, and he took it only because he wanted to seize more power. Not because he wanted to help you find stuff, because he didn't care. He was finding whatever planet. But then he decided, oh, I want your power too. And that's when we get that classic Galactus story where he dines on the planet Anthos and gets a tummy ache, so to speak. And he has to break his vow and attacks Earth. And Fantastic Four and a couple other heroes come together. It has been put into an animated form in the 1994 Fantastic Four animated series where Frankie Ray first becomes Nova. Oh, Grand Madam Ass is it's plastic, but it's bendy plastic, so it's not so stiff that you can't manipulate it. And then this is more up here. This is more like armor. It's all attached. This is one unit. I don't know if you can raise his arm up. You can see that from the side. It's not even attached to the body. See my see my, whoops, wrong side. See my finger going by it. See what I'm saying? So yeah, and then so that might theoretically, if I could get his head up. Never mind. I'm not even finna. Where does Galactus use the toilet? That is an interesting question. But Galactus is Galactus. And maybe the way Galactus disposes of waste is not comprehensible by mere mortals. It's a cop-out, but totally plausible. Wait, what the Anansi say? Everybody poops. Everybody drops a stinky. Mr. Martin, Terax the type to run your dough and your jewels. They Terax wore Timberlands. Terax was, but hey, just when you thought Terax was the worst herald of them all, along came Morg. I think Morg was maybe just a trifle worse. Morg was bad enough that they all had to team up to whoop his butt. Jay is in the building. What is good, my brother? All righty. I was showing him my Terax, bro. Working on my heralds, you know what I mean? Working on my heralds, but you know, you probably got this one. He's a big thick fellow, all of 7.5. You know, solid chunk of plastic. All right. I will be talking about another couple of chunks of plastic later on, the Adam Strange unboxing. But I do not want to overstep my boundaries just yet because I got some other stuff that I want to talk about before we get to Adam Strange. Y'all stay with me, okay? Because I might get to feeling some kind of way and I might get to saying some things. So all right. This was about a month ago, but for some strange reason, why is there always somebody messing with Queen Jasmine? Okay. For those of you who have been under a rock, the sister in the green goes by the name of Jasmine Crockett. Jasmine Crockett is a congressional representative representing a district in Texas. She is a very astute, intelligent, strategic woman. I can't name 5 women like her. I feel like she needs to be protected. I feel like she's something that we really, really need to protect. Now, Attorney General Pam Bondi, I think she was the most recent that got shut down, and that was about a month ago. Cause this broad had the nerve to go on the Senate floor and tell Jasmine Crockett to go back to Africa. Go back to your country if you don't like what's going on in this one. Classic response from the people that you expect to get a response like that from. Now, what I love, adored, respected, and was inspired by was her response. Y'all, when I say Jasmine Crockett know how to do some God level checking, Ooh. And you know what was so cool about it? She didn't raise her voice. She didn't scream. She didn't holler. She just broke it down and corrected the woman. But after she got done correcting her and telling her all of the things that her parents accomplished and that she accomplished and the life that she has in this country, I mean, just ripped her. And I'm like, you the attorney general, you should know better. That is a practice attorney. You want to match up with the undisputed heavyweight champion of the Isles. That wasn't a day to do it. And it ain't never a day to go at Queen Jasmine. It ain't never a day when you right doing it. Because when you do, she pulled out a document that made the woman nervous from an investigation that had her name in it. She said, I keep receipts for every one of y'all. I knew I was coming to see you today, or I knew you was going to be here today. Had the nerve to call Jasmine Crockett a domestic terrorist because she said we need to get Elon Musk on my birthday, when she came right behind it and said, I'm not saying advocate violence. That kind of stuff. And then on top of that, I add this. Look at what's being done to our fellow kings. I'm not talking about whether they deserve it or not. I'm not talking about if they're guilty. I'm not talking about if they have something wrong with them up here, in here. Look how they're being done. The rich ones, the poor ones, the Democrats, the Republicans, the religious, the heathens. Look how they are. That's why we need to protect people like Jasmine Crockett. Because Jasmine Crockett ain't afraid to stand up to anybody. I ain't seen her back down to nobody yet. Not only does she not back down, she shuts them down with facts. Not being ghetto, like who was it? Marco Rubio said, is how I feel about that. The woman needs to be protected by all means. And whatever we can do, man, wherever there's a contribution or something going towards something that she's trying to do, I ain't telling you how to spend your money, but if you part of trying to be a leader and make things change, leaders do consistently what non-leaders do occasionally. And it ain't no effort to you if you believe in what the woman is trying to accomplish, if she's trying to accomplish something. I ain't out here advocating and rallying and I mean, well, maybe I am, but I wanna make sure she don't meet with nothing untimely before it's time. You feel me? Cause she telling way too many people out. Christy Nome, Lauren Boebert, Marjorie Taylor Greene, all just slapping them, pow, 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 knocking them all out the box. Totally. It's that fear of black, man. They fear us. Now, I'm not trying to pump no rhetoric or nothing, but come on. That's why you don't see nobody else trying to confront us. Unless it's for money. Not like that. Not giving off no energy. That woman trying to make some stuff happen. in Congress and in this country. She's trying to prevent some things from happening. She's trying to change some things that's already happened. If you got to get your raggedy behind out and vote, get your raggedy behind out and vote. If you don't think it's going to change nothing, then do something else. But don't do nothing. Nature abhors a vacuum. You don't want to be the vacuum sitting around doing nothing, just sucking up everything, but not responding to it. Not a call to action, friendly reminder. If you want to look at what I'm saying as a call to action, then get your butt up and do something. That's all I'm saying. How does that relate to us here? We need to be around as Black men. We need to be around. For who? For us. For each other. Remember the movie Higher Learning? I'm going to tell you the one line in that whole movie that sits with me to this very day. We behind enemy lines, dog. Ice Cube to Omar Epps' character. We behind enemy lines. Think about it. The human beings, the African Americans who are in the United States could be looked at as deep cover war dog operatives. They don't like that because you know what? A lot of people think we are. But you brought us here. Oh my goodness. We have been blessed by a celebrity. We got a celebrity in the building. Byron Smith, baby, what's good? Thank you for stopping by, sir. Tell your pops I said, hey, what's up? I don't want to, take up too much of your time. But for those of you that don't know, our homie Byron was on Sherry Shepherd. Not as a guest, but one of his I think it was a TikTok where he was talking about Black women and he was talking about how older Black women, them the ones you need to be getting with because they take care of you. They'll fulfill all your freaky needs and feed you some collard greens and some cornbread. You know what I'm saying? He talked them up, bruh. He talked them up. That's my dog. That's my dog. Keep doing what you do, baby boy. I appreciate you. I hope your star continues to rise and rise and rise and you get more and more attention. All I gotta say is don't forget the little peoples. Don't forget the little peoples. Oh. Man, hey, she said she had a plate for him, Kamoyo. Boy, come on over here and let me fix you a plate. and when you get sleepy, that's when you get sleepy, that's when they got you. Got you laid out on the couch and loosening up your belt. Oh my goodness. Rock with me, nation. This is how we rock, baby. Keep rocking with us. Oh, Grand Madam, not the cheesy biscuits. She tried to trap you with them cheesy biscuits. You ain't going nowhere after them cheesy biscuits, boy. Okay. This is turning out to be lively. Paul Martin say Black male journalists should not have stepped up at the NABJ conference when Orange Fool called the sisters nasty. Not react with violence, but curse him out. I would love to see Jasmine do him the way she did Pam Bondi, and just somebody just imagine if you go and watch the video, it's there, but imagine somebody just verbally beating your ass. You know what I'm saying? But ain't raising the eyebrow, just talking at tongue. But every word coming out is like dagger, spear, howitzer. Man, she was loading it on her. I was like, you know, like in a rap battle when you hear a cold line, you hear some bars, you like, I was doing that the whole time she was talking. She was on roast mode. You know what I'm saying? She like, today I got time. Today I got time. Today I got time. Okay. Woosah, take it down. Nothing stands out in a crowd like a ridiculous character. Or a character that may not necessarily belong there. Some weird characters end up becoming popular. Some weird characters stay precisely what the hell they was meant to be. Weird. In the case of King Shark, he went on to become something because somebody saw something in him marketable. Stegron the Dinosaur Man and Ruby Thursday, not so much. A woman who chopped off her head and replaced it with a big dome, and a dude who took some serum and became a dinosaur man, which in theory sounds cool, but it was a lot in the origin story. Stegron the Dinosaur Man. You think because of his look and the spikes on his tail, he's taken after a Stegosaurus with his name. But no, that's his government name, Vincent Stegron. Okay, these ain't even the ones that I want to talk to y'all about today. Whether it's their look, their feel, their energy, their origin story, I melt for me. I ain't gonna say about how it worked for y'all, but for me, I have melted it down to 3 characters in all of comicdom who are WTF moments. Period. Well, not 3, 4. 4, 3, 4. Well, hold up. Let me look. Well, I melted down. 3. It was 3. And we're going to do it like this. First one on the list. That, ladies and gentlemen, is one Philip Reardon, also known as 10 Eyes. Now, I know some of you who are not familiar with DC are saying, why is he called 10 Eyes? I'm so glad you asked. Philip Reardon has taken the moniker 10 Eyes because as an assassin, he tried to make a living, but he could not do it. And so a crazy doctor to him was given. Optic nerves in the tips of his fingers, so that he could see 360 degrees around him, making him an amazing assassin. But a terrible everything else, because he still has the same vulnerabilities as someone who would have their eyes on their hands. That's stupid. He's still around. I think somebody might have killed him, but I haven't been keeping up. I haven't been keeping up with the 10-eyed man. He's not exactly high on my list of characters I need to know what's going on with. Another character that I just had a like, we ain't doing it today moment. When I discovered how long this fool has been around. Ladies and gentlemen, say hello to Armless Tiger Man. Oh no, your eyes do not deceive you. That is an image from the 1940s of Armless Tiger Man with a hammer in between his toes. Let me give you a little background on Armless Tiger. Armless Tiger lost his arms in a machine accident. So, because it was the 1940s, and I guess they never heard of prosthetics yet, or prosthetics hadn't been invented, he decided to learn to use his feet and his mouth as adequately as hands. Hence, you getting that. So, Armless Tiger Man shaved his teeth down sharp and became a Nazi? Well, first, Armless Tiger Man used to run afoul of the Angel. No, not Warren Worthington Angel. That Angel right there. The Angel who appeared in the early Marvel comics in 1939 from Timely. See what I did there? And Armless Tiger Man was seen recently. Well, not recently, but 2010? Flags of Our Fathers, Azuri and Captain America. I don't give a damn. Dumb. That's a dumb character. And now perhaps the dumbest thing to me of all, Black Condor. You recognize Black Condor from Freedom Fighters. Uncle Sam, the Ray, the Bomb, Phantom Lady. Yeah, that Freedom Fighters. Now, Black Condor's power is pretty straightforward and simple. Black Condor has the power to fly. He needs to put on some clothes, but Black Condor has the power to fly. Now, how did Black Condor get the power to fly? How did he acquire this ability? Did he take a formula? No. Was he exposed to some type of radiation? Nah. Was there some deity that blessed him with powers? Nah. The birds taught him. That's right. I said the birds taught him. Condors, to be specific. So basically, Black Condor is Tarzan, except instead of living with apes, he lived with condors. Stupid. That's stupid. But back in 1940, you could make weak stories like that. And because in 1940, flying was a new thing. If you watch my video, the first superheroes to fly flew in 1939. Superman, the most popular hero of all, didn't fly till 40. He wasn't the first. Did you know that? No, I didn't know that. You're welcome. You're welcome. Let me catch the comments, and then we're gonna move on to the next topic. Plastic Man? I like Plastic Man. 10 Eyes sounds like he gets handsy with the You're bad. Oh my goodness. Bruh, the fact he was fading Wakanda's with no arms. With no arms. That's crazy. That's crazy. You know what I'm saying? With no arms. I get it, but everything pugilistic and martial combat about me says impossible. What my man say on The Princess Bride? Inconceivable. Yes, it is Armless from Black Panther. Well, yes, he also happens to be a cannibal. Come on, yo. Yes. He say the writer room. They was smoking on that good. Yeah, you know what? Let's make this dude, man. He gonna be a villain, man. He ain't gonna have no arms. And then he gonna shave his teeth down, man, so they like real sharp, man, like they all incisors, man. You know, so he yeah. And he gonna be able to use his feet like hands. Yeah, so it ain't gonna be no big deal. Ain't gonna be no big deal that he ain't got no hands and no arms and nothing, man. Matter of fact, that's what I'ma call him. Armless Tiger Man. Dude, what? Every time I see a superhero team with Plastic Man on it, I immediately just see comedy. You know, and it don't help that he made his debut in a comic book called More Fun Comics. I think it was More Fun Comics. Or something with a little paisley, fruity little comic book name like that. Oh, I'm sorry. Plastic Man made his debut in Police Comics. FTP, all day, every day. Eel O'Brien. Yep. In 1941, Police Comics #1 is where we first get our gander of Plastic Man. Now, DC Comics care. Yeah, see, everybody. And in that cartoon back in the 80s, that didn't help either. Plastic Man and Baby Plaz and Hula Hula and Penny. And yeah. And Plastic Man. But Plastic Man has made great inroads becoming a respectable character. Not only becoming respectable, but the premier stretch dude. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if you had to go with Elongated Man, Plastic Man, and Mr. Fantastic in a stretching contest, or just being the best all-around stretching plastic character, who you gonna go with? Plastic Man can literally shapeshift. I mean, Reed Richards can too, but Reed Richards ain't feats. There we go, feats. Reed Richards' feats don't match up to Plaz. You know what I'm saying? And Elongated Man, he just there. You know what I'm saying? Only reason we talk about him because of his detective skills. Is that what? Is that why? Is that why we even talking about Mr. Denby? Every super team has a wise ass, or so it seems. You too, Grand Madam? I know. You're a genius, man. Heads the room tilting. Oh, I've been in that room. Anyway, no more delay. No more delay. It is time to say what I do and do what I say. Talk how I feel. Keep it a buck. 2 tears in a bucket. It is time for an action figuring action premiere. You can tell I grew up in the 70s, huh? Anyway, whilst I opens this, that's the picture on the back. I will regale you with Adam Strange information. Adam Strange had his premiere like Flash, Hawkman, the Atom, and Green Lantern before him in the pages of Showcase. Somebody just pointed it out to me. That was what that comic book was. A showcase of the characters. And if they did good in a little run, then they got their own comic. You could do that when there wasn't no black characters around. See how I did that? You could do that when there wasn't no black characters around because there was nobody to be hateful and racist and say they don't think that the end deserves it because he's an end character. You know what I mean? So that is why let me get these out the way. I hate them little clipper things. They always have the plastic around it. It seems like Adam Strange was kind of a poor man's Flash Gordon. Would I be overstepping my boundaries if I said that? But something, forgive me, about red and yellow. And I'm not upset at his costume design either. He later on got a run in a comic called Mystery Into Space. Or Mystery in Space, excuse me. And it ran for, I don't know, maybe like close to 40 issues. He met up with the Justice League. Crazy little bit of info. Adam Strange is mentioned in comics as having had a conversation with being a potential member of the Justice League before he was actually asked to join the Justice League because no one had ever met Adam Strange. He was out on Planet Rand. So, like they do in comics, they retroactively made a story where Hawkman and the Justice League meet Adam Strange. So, what does Adam Strange come with? Like action figures always do. Well, not always. They come with accessories. And one of the accessories that Adam comes with is he always has some type of light gun, some type of laser gun, some type of ordnance on his person. Because, as I said earlier, at his heart, Adam Strange is really just, and I hate to say it, up until a certain point, Adam Strange was really only a poor man's Flash Gordon. But like we always do with comics, to make them better, we freaking tweak the character and add things to him to make them a little less whack. And over time, Adam Strange became a man with an eidetic memory. He became a martial arts master, a master hand-to-hand combatant. All that. So, you know, I get the Tom Strong, Doc Savage, Buckaroo Banzai kind of energy they trying to give off, but we got a lot of those characters in the 1930s. Flash Gordon and Buck Rogers was actually enough, if you ask me. So there's his light gun, and of course comes with a Rocketeer style jetpack. Be nice if they had some fire, that went up in there. But they don't. They don't even have that with the platinum one. So, yeah. That. And what's the deal with like this, the head crest thing? Is that aerodynamic? Does that make him fly faster? Is that, I mean, what I never understood the significance of, honestly, any character that had that kind of, even swordsman, same kind of thing. Or I guess that's just, it's part of superhero accessories. When you get your cape or whatever, kind of like on City of Heroes, I get to decide if I want a headpiece or a little crest or not. I don't know. It's just weird to me. But Adam strangely enough, pun not intended, actually, is from Earth, and his government name, Adam Strange. He's one of those superheroes that don't use a code name, like Luke Cage, John Stewart, Miles Morales, that kind of thing, But I like that he falls into the category, I mean, he knows. Oh, and they even gave him peak human strength. So technically, if he has peak human strength and he is a master combatant and he has an eidetic memory, that means he remembers everything he sees, hears, or experiences. Wouldn't that put Adam Strange on a par with Batman? See, got to be careful how you're doling out these revamped origin stories. You mess around and make somebody an amazing character that was only supposed to be a side character. Not having nearly the amazement. Oh, it has the change of face thing going on, which is popular right now. I won't bore you with the details of changing faces, so we'll just do like that. That kind of a thing. That. And I have the other one, as y'all seen, which is all gray. Same exact character. Just same exact character. Same exact thing. Same 100%. Sam. 100. So, I mean, we don't really need to get into the chase figure, do we? That's the only difference there. It's just gray. Other than that, got all the same stuff. That, ladies and gentlemen, has been your Adam Strange. What y'all talking about? Let me get off in the comments while y'all discussing Adam Strange. Adam Strange and Tom Strong. Yeah, Adam Strange, Tom Strong, Doc Savage, similar, except Adam Strange is out in space. Mr. Martin Strange was a stranger in a strange land type of character, a holdover from Conan and John Carter and Doc Savage. Yeah, he came up with this experimental technology called a Zeta beam, and it ended up teleporting him to a planet Rand, which is like hundreds of thousands and thousands of light years away. And his whole thing is about trying to get back to Earth to catch the Zeta beam when it comes back to get back to Earth. Meanwhile, he has adventures in space. And he gets that get up with the outfit, with jetpack and the head fin, and has adventures. That's why he was in a comic book called Mystery in Space. Adam does look like a legit spaceman, doesn't he, Kamoya? Any relationship between Adam and Hugo? Wow, that is a darn good question, Mr. Martin. Not to my knowledge. I don't think so. Well, I was just looking. I'll tell you. Hang on. He's only had a partnership with Sardath and Hawkman. I'll ask. You can tell I'm old fashioned. I'm typing it. I could have just talked it into my phone. um the answer, potentially, depending on what continuity you're talking about. So maybe. Good question. The head fin was made to look flashy. Yeah, because he's got a similar kind of design in his costume that's kind of reminiscent of Flash Gordon and Buck Rogers. So feel like he was made to be that costumed adventurer, which is what Batman is, people, by the way, because there's nothing super about him. Like Ultraman, it makes him look sleek. Yeah, more adventure than a superhero, Paul. Exactly. People would probably argue that Adam Strange doesn't have prep time like Batman does, unless DC also not to my knowledge. I don't think so, Anansi. He's still plain old Adam Strange. Strange, Strong, Savage. Sounds like a musical group or a trio of some sort. Strange, Strong, and Savage. That would be a dope ass name for a comic book if all three of them were included in it. Ooh. Helmet fins improve stability while in flight or moving at speed. So sort of like the rudder array on a plane. Yeah, I mentioned Marvel, Paul Martin. Exactly. There is a version of Gina's Veil that has the helmet with the fin on it as well, and he's got kind of a starry look to him, kind of like, dare I say it, Starman? Yeah, starry kind of look to him. But yeah, y'all. Let's okay. What kind of note? What kind of note y'all want to end on tonight? Do you want to end on a high note, a low note, a I don't know note? What kind of note you want to end? I tell you what. Excellent point. And since we talk about DC characters that don't get enough shine, because of course this is what attracted most of you to the live tonight. Yes, I know what side my bread is buttered on, and I ain't gonna front. Boom, Mr. Terrific. Yes sir, Mr. Terrific. What we gonna do to blow Mr. Terrific up? Like it, love it, want more of it? Unlike past attempts to coincide a comic book or comic book events with a movie, this seems to fit. Case in point, Captain America Brave New World has absolutely nothing connective in it. You got a couple super soldiers, but I mean, they don't have a connection. You see what I'm saying? So there's nothing to build. It got built in the movie, I think. But anyway, that's not the point. We ain't talking about him because the comic book character does not translate well. The movie version, rather, does not translate well into a comic book character. Whereas we rolling with Mr. Terrific year one. So I'm laying some stuff out for you about Mr. Terrific that's going to line up with some things that are going on in the Superman movie. All of this comes together in the perfect storm, and we support the movie. That is more visibility for Michael Holt. That is more attention paid to Michael Holt. Michael Holt has another action figure that is out based on that version of Mr. Terrific. Pick it up. Show them that, ooh, wow, these Mr. Terrifics are flying off the shelf way more than these Guy Gardners, way more than these Hawkwomen's. They can either choose to recognize it and acknowledge it or not. Look at it this way. He managed to ease his way into nearly every DC animated incarnation. He's in a lot of them. You know what? We don't got to play this game. I could just tell you. Okay. Boom. We're going to go straight down to the bottom. Bam. Okay. Mr. Terrific has been in Justice League Unlimited. Mr. Terrific has been in Beware the Batman. Mr. Terrific has been in the Arrowverse. Mr. Terrific appears in Justice League Action. And Hannibal Buress does his voice. Mr. Terrific is in Justice League Crisis on Two Earths. We may not have noticed him, but it's his other Earth version, Earth 3 version, Mr. Horrific. Watch for that. Now I'm being ready to go back and watch that in a little bit and see if I can catch that. An alternate variant version of Michael Holt appears in Justice League Gods and Monsters. Mr. Terrific appears in Justice League versus the Fatal Five. Mr. Terrific appears in the Injustice game, voiced by Aldous Hodges' brother, Edwin. Michael Holt appeared in season 11 of Smallville. Target exclusive Justice League Unlimited, Mr. Terrific action figure, DC Universe Classics, Mr. Universe action figure. Mr. Terrific is permeated quietly so, I dare to say, into the cultural lexicon. He's there. Not to mention, he was in Justice Society. Heck, Dale Eaglesham, Alex Ross, that run, I think it was like 2005, 2004. Mr. Terrific ran the Justice Society too. Mr. Terrific is permeated into the canon. Give him the shine he deserves. You're building a universe around Supergirl and the Trinity. They should be building a universe around the Trinity and Michael Holt. Now, I'm just talking. A lot of what I'm saying is just wishful thinking. I don't want y'all going back talking about, Mr. Terrific getting ready to do it. But this is what we want. This is what we would like to see. You know, the second most intelligent man in the DC universe. I know they have him listed as the third. But also you need to read all of the stuff it says after third smartest man. But that's a fact, Kamoyo. Batman be glazing Mr. Terrific. You know what I'm saying? So anybody Batman jocking got to be somebody special. You know what I mean? All I can say is what I say all the time. Pull up. Pull up. Pull up and give Michael Holt the play. Pull up and let folks know you want to see Mr. Terrific. I want to see Mr. Terrific. I think the only live action version of Mr. Terrific we have can be done just a little bit better. You know what I mean? So I need me a good Mr. Terrific. So Eddie Gathegi, do your thing, boy. I know you're gonna do your thing. You always do. You did your thing as Darwin. When you did your thing on The Harder They Fall. So yeah, let's get it. Also, Mr. Terrible. I think one was a comic book version and one was an animated version. Yeah. That our Mr. Terrific is getting all of this attention. We should not sleep on it. We should not take it for granted. You know, we're always saying we want that representation. And you know what's crazy about this shirt? I'm about to show you. I mean, you've seen the shirt before, but since we're talking, you know what I mean? And I'm talking about it. Mr. Terrific ain't on here. We got all of these. We got Aqualad on this shirt, but we don't got Mr. Terrific. See, that's what I mean about that invisible presence he has. He's been around. I just read off to you all of the stuff he's been in, but yet no acknowledgement. You feel me? That is just massively weird to me. Why ain't we giving Mr. T-Mo shine and not just, you know, making him the supporting character all the time? Does that make sense? I mean, he's always supporting somebody, the Justice Society, the Justice League, the Terrific. He's always supporting something. Let him do his thing like they was doing in New 52 when he had a book. Give him a book. Give him a movie. Worst thing could happen, it could be successful. Unless y'all like Marvel and y'all don't like making money. You got James Gunn over there. Put him to use. Let him transform your stuff. Theo said, could it be we don't appreciate intelligence as a standalone superpower in our community? We're more concerned about having a powerhouse that can rival Superman rather than an intellect that could take him down, mainly because Superman already has that in Lex Luthor. So maybe in a twist, give Mr. Terrific a physically formidable arch foe that he has to use his intellect to overcome. At least that's how I would write it. I'd give him a maybe not Superman level, but somebody on Superman's level in the strength department, where if Superman sock him, he ain't gonna fold like a house of cards. He could take a couple hits from the Kryptonian, or more than a couple hits. You know what I mean? Something like a New God, or Apocalyptic, or a Daxamite, or something like that. Somebody strong and formidable enough up here to give Mike a hold of the problem. Because that's what we want to see in our heroes. We don't want to see our heroes and that's the one thing I've always had a problem with like Superman and Batman. You give them, well, I don't say you, the writer always bestows this godlike quality on them, like they ain't fallible, like they can't be beaten, like they're perfect. And we put too much of it in Superman because we view him as nigh omnipotent, and we put too much of it in Batman because we view him as omniscient. Omniscient, able to see and anticipate everything. That's boring. Oh, you stronger than everybody? There ain't nobody that can challenge you? That's boring. Oh, you had a device for this? Oh, you had a contingency plan for that? Oh, you had a protocol for this? Again? That's boring. Give me something different. Take them outside of their normal sphere of comfort. Like they did Batman and Batman the Cult. Take him out of where he's safe. Take him out of where he got to depend on nothing but Batman. Bruce Wayne. Not the gadgets, not the resources. Show us Bruce Wayne. Put Superman in a situation where he ain't gonna be able to punch or heat vision his way out of it, and he got to use his noodle. Okay. Do Michael and Cyborg make the badass black genius tech guy redundant? Well, Cyborg is more of a challenge in the brute force department. And I think Cyborg is pretty dangerous offensively. You know what I mean? And he's got the durability factor. So similar, but not too much, not to the point where they need to be considered redundant. Theo say aside from his financial resources, he should be close to a Batman level hero. Yeah, but we put, again, like I said, that we always put this godlike quality on Batman for his intellectual and mental virtues. And then also, physically, he's able to kick down trees. Oh, he can do this. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, he is the perfect man, that everything a man could be besides being a god. That's Batman. Where's the challenge then? I like my heroes to have a challenge. He's an Olympic level athlete with anger management issues. He should be putting hands on people. He got more than anger man. If we talk about Batman, he got more than anger management issues. He got a lot of psychological issues. Honestly, Bizarro is his. Okay. Okay. I can see that. I can see that. Or Solomon Grundy or Blockbuster, maybe. Well, Blockbuster ain't. Depending on what Blockbuster you getting. Anyway, yeah. I like that. Bizarro. How many black belts? Give me a second there, buddy. I don't know why I keep turning it off. Bam. Okay. Let me go straight to abilities. You know what? I need to look. See, I'm looking at the Wikipedia entry. I need to look at the wiki. Here we go. Oh, DC fandom should do. Woo, he's got a long origin. Okay. Change level intellect, eidetic memory. He is a polymath. Something he and T'Challa have in common. In multiple fields of medicine, engineering, and sciences, he possesses 14 PhDs, 2 of which are in engineering and physics, and he has doctorates and masters in law, psychology, chemistry, political science, computer science, rocket science, and mathematics. He's multilingual. Let's see. Martial arts. He has a black belt in 6 different disciplines. No, Theo, he cannot be picked up on electronics. And that's what I'm saying. He's a whole dog, man. This version of Mr. Terrific made his debut in 1997. So, to answer your question, Paul Martin, Michael Holt may precede Night Thrasher, but Mr. Terrific does not. Yep, I have done it for you, sir. There is no need for you to check the DK book now. But long story short, basically what I want to get at is pump, push, play, and rock with Mr. Terrific. Now, for our last subject of the night. Now, I didn't really want to do it like this, but my hand is forced. Okay. Now, we hear a lot of conversation about this right here. Black fatigue. All right. This is the correct definition of black fatigue according to Her, Mary Frances Winters, who wrote the book, wait for it, Black Fatigue. Let's take a look at Mary Frances Winters. Does that look like a Caucasian woman to you? No, that is a black woman. That is a Nubian queen. That is a woman. That is a lady. A African American lady. Now, real quick, let me take you back to this. That there, ladies and gents, is the definition of black fatigue. Let me say it out loud. The exhaustion born of the day-to-day small acts of aggression or small acts of disrespect a black person endures. The endless need to prove your worth and the constant exposure to news about injustice and violence being inflicted on people who look like you. Trayvon Martin, Philando Castile, Sandra Bland, Breonna Taylor, George Floyd. Those are injustices and violence. That causes me fatigue as a black man in America. But yet and still, my fatigue can be construed as aggression. My fatigue can be construed as anger. You ever been so frustrated about something you were angry? You ever been so frustrated about something you want to punch some stuff? Suffice to say, it means you're tired. You're tired of dealing with whatever it is you're dealing with. And as a black person in this country, you have every right to feel that way. You have every right to say, I'm tired of being sick and tired. So what's supposed to happen? You know what happens? The same thing that always happens. People appropriate our stuff. Now, this is what I told you. That's Urban Dictionary. And it's funny because it ain't funny. Why do palm-colored people have to make everything about them? Why? First of all, didn't nobody ask you to care? I didn't. I didn't ask no palm-colored people to care about my fatigue. I ask you to look within and change yourself so I don't have to have it anymore. Ooh, that's a hard ask. Original meaning, the toll of constantly navigating racism. Now co-opted by conservatives to claim they are tired of hearing about racism. See, that's why I saved this topic for last. They are tired of hearing about racism. Go back to Africa is tired of hearing about racism. Shiloh Jennings, whose teeth are pearly white because she says the N-word thousands upon thousands of times and gets paid for it. but they're the victims of racism. I saw a video the other day where a little palm-colored girl was upset because she didn't get a job. She wanted to get a job in the inner city. I'm going to say that again. She wanted a job in the inner city. Unfortunately, she went to a job where they're going to hire Chandrika before they hire Brittany. That's racism. People were being racist against her because she was white. No, you didn't qualify for the job. You just so happen to be white. See, black people use they black as an excuse to justify the negative things they do. Palm-colored people use it to make themselves look without blame. No matter what happened, it wasn't my fault. No matter what was said, it wasn't my fault. If I crashed out and did some Karen stuff, it ain't my fault. I'm going to fall out on the ground and cry after having a Karen moment. The level of unaccountability is mind-blowing. Now you want to be fatigued too. You want to be now you're tired too. You're tired. You're tired of a race of people that your ancestors brought here against their will. Bred, beat, and brutalized. Used as military leverage. Then as political leverage. Then the slaves were freed. And I could go on and give you the whole scenario about Reconstruction and Jim Crow and black laws and all of that. But when has the palm-colored man in America who has benefited decade upon decade upon decade upon decade of generational wealth got cause to complain or cry about anything? The system, the world, I'm not the world, but this country is set up for the success of people with generational wealth. All men are created equal, then stop denying black people the opportunity to create generational wealth. We created generational wealth within 2 generations, only to have it destroyed and then deny the destruction. But you're fatigued about hearing the problems of black people. Well, I could take Pamela Bondi's approach and tell you, if you don't like what's going on, go back to your country. But I would be wrong, because you were born here just like I was. So rather than hurl insults at one another, why don't we look at and address the trauma that you're experiencing because of the heritage your ancestors have left you with? Let's read these comments, shall we? Kamoyo says black fatigue is real. Yeah, I'm black and I'm fatigued. Nasi says they're tired of hearing about racism against us, but never get tired of practicing it against us. Hypocrisy. One of my pet peeves, Nasi. I can't stand a hypocrite, a liar, or a thief. And it seems nowadays we have an inexhaustible amount of all three. And they are so quick to cry about racism they think has been perpetrated against them, but tell us to be quiet about racism against us, which, Anansi, in and of itself proves the racism in this country is systematic. We, therefore, cannot be racist in a system designed not even for us. The system's not designed for us. So how can we be the controllers of a system that is not designed for us? I know this is getting way past blurred and nerd, man, but sometimes a lot of this stuff needs to be said. I'm on TikTok, I'm on Instagram, and it is a plethora of videos filled with Caucasian people who are fatigued at our plight. You know what somebody had the nerve to have a conversation with me about on Instagram? The fact that if black people hate racism so much, why is the largest concentration of black people in this country located in the South, where that racism resides? Oh, that's easy. That was a slam dunk. All I said was, what could you do and where could you go if you were brought to a country against your own will, made to feel subhumanized, brutalized, beaten, raped, sold, bought, raped, bought, sold, made to work until your hands bleed? Then suddenly, you're free. With no knowledge of the country you are in, no knowledge, literally no knowledge because you weren't allowed to read, no knowledge of that system and how you are supposed to move, operate, live, and have your being in that system. And then on top of that, no resources in which to ply a trade or navigate through this system or a societal setting or a community. Yeah, you had a few couple thousand people who migrated to the East, who migrated to the Midwest, migrated to the West. But you got generations of black people in the South who have laid down roots, who had to lay down roots. They didn't have no choice. They didn't know anything else. And so they're building a future in this country the best way they can. That's why there are so many black people in the South. I ain't getting no response. Sometimes I got time. And when I got time, woe unto the source of my opposition. Yeah, I'm a lay it on you, Jasmine Crockett style. You know what I mean? You ain't gonna have nothing left to say. except to bow down and be gone and know better next time. But yes, black fatigue is real. It is a very real thing. Miss Mary wasn't whistling Dixie. She did her research, and I encourage everybody. I've perused into it. I've read like a chapter or so, but I'm gonna read the whole book. Just what I got in that moment, amazing. Another book I would suggest that y'all read too, which will help you understand the people who you are dealing with, and the mindset from which they operate, because there's more than one. It's called White Fragility. Robin DiAngelo, I believe, Italian lady. Dead on. They don't like it when their own speak on them, and they talk about that trauma, and they talk about that deep-seated pain that they deal with that manifests itself as racism. How they have a conquest mentality, manifest destiny. You know what I'm saying? To the victor go the spoils. I mean, but nobody cares about morale. Nobody cares about, morals. How you in war and you attacking women and children? I mean, it happens in war. War is war, but man, come on. Don't make it a thing. But this is what we're talking about when we talk about black fatigue. All of the experiences heaped up on us, and we still have to deal with it. This is an ancestral thing. This is a generational thing. That's what people don't understand. That trauma was never resolved. You freed African slaves, but you didn't give them any kind of tools to build a society for themselves within your society. And so we were outcast still. We were subhuman still. But if you did so openly and blatantly, it was against the law to some degree. But by and large, do what the you wanna do. And now it's getting difficult to do that in this country. So people are losing their onions and saying things to people they know they don't have business saying, and doing things to people they know they don't have business doing. Flagrant use of the N-word, spitting on people. Let me take the time to utilize this platform, if I haven't already, to say, don't spit on people. That is about as disrespectful as you can get. And when you spit on people, that's considered assault in a lot of states, right? When you spit on people. Also, it's never going to come to trial, because if anybody ever spits on me and I can get my hands on them, it will be a learning experience. That's not cool. I don't know, because I've seen so many people spitting on people nowadays, and I'm like, are you out of your ever-loving mind? Nobody wants your nasty ass spit on them. What makes you think? Yeah, do you realize the level of contempt for a person you are exuding by spit on them? To me, that says you are garbage. You are dirt. You are worse than a maggot. That's That's what spitting says to me. Yeah, there's no reason for a human being to spit on another human being. There got to be some really deep-seated hatred for you to want to expectorate bodily fluids onto another human being simply because of your hate of them. But we don't ever sit around and examine those kind of things. We don't ever sit around and examine the kind of subhuman, savage behavior that hate can make us go to. If we can relate it to a comic book setting, Icon had to experience it. He had to experience 150 years of it because that's how long he lived. Dwayne Taylor, Night Thrasher, had to experience it because he was time displaced by the Sphinx and had to be exposed to that kind of racism, that kind of hatred. Harriet Tubman, Vampire Slayer. Harriet Tubman. Harriet Tubman. That should say it all. So it's not, racism is not a unknown concept in comics. Some people have the boldness, some people have the courage to talk about it. You know, other people just kind of want to skirt around it and act like it doesn't exist, or we want to make this friendly, rosy, flowery world where everybody loves everybody and everybody is treated fairly. And we all for that, but we have yet to be treated fairly. Think about it. Would we be as angry if we were left alone, given our 40 acres and a mule, and allowed to build? You saw Rosewood. You saw Greenwood, Archer, and Pine in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and in a dozen other places all over this country that were burned, eradicated, destroyed. We were trying to build. We were trying to create our own generational wealth. They wouldn't let us. Yeah, black fatigue is real as hell. And to try to co-opt something like that, like you co-op woke, how you co-op hip hop, how you co-op our slang, how you co-op everything we do. Just say you admire us and put us on that pedestal and give us the respect we deserve, since we make up a huge percentage of this country's culture. Why is it that the vast majority of black women are educated, have college educations? Strange. Black women per capita have more college degrees than black men. I say all of that to say we got to protect our black women. We do. They are a treasure. They are a gift. They are the backbone of the black home. We got to take care of them. Yep, Grand Madam, 100. As Mr. T eloquently stated it, dead men tell no tales. Hey, Diabolical, what's up, bro? Negroes spend too much time holding up the phone and not enough whipping the dog poop out of people. Well, I will say, I'm down for we shall overcome. But if you don't want to let me overcome, then I'm going to have to come on over. You know what I'm saying? Real biz. And shoot that square one or whatever has to be done. But yeah, ain't nobody finna lay down in this country with that color skin. And we know about suffering because every situation we've been in has been suffering. I was introduced to suffering as a child. We suffer. But you know what else we do? We overcome. We triumph. And we freaking celebrate like nobody's business. And if you think I'm lying, go down to Nolans. They party hardy. They party because it's Tuesday. Okay? They party because it's Tuesday. That's what I'm talking about. A Tuesday party. Let's kick it on Tuesday. I want to be able to laugh. I want to be able to smile. I want to be able to be happy. Unfortunately, sometimes we have to talk about these kinds of things. Just so you know, your boy D-Real ain't nobody's Uncle Tom, that he ain't nobody's sellout, he ain't nobody's coon, regardless of what you think, see, or hear. You heard it from me. And if you don't believe me, I'm from Missouri. I ain't got no problem showing. I don't know who that was for. Sometimes things just come out. And that's what came out today. If you got it, good. If you was insulted by it, sorry. Is what it is. It's what it is, man. Like they say in the Bay. It's what it is. Deal with it. It is about 2-hour mark, so we getting ready to wrap. But before we wrap, I want to rap to you about some things going to be going on in the future. Tomorrow, of course, you know, you're going to be getting the Friday vibe tip where we get down for the get down and talk about the week's issues, but in a chill, vibed out kind of way. So if you ain't never pulled up for one, pull up for one. If you rock with me nation, you know you always welcome. Come on in, share your thoughts, share your feelings, laugh, cry, elevate. We here for it. And it's an atmosphere you ain't gonna see nowhere else. It's a vibe that you ain't gonna see nowhere else on social media. You might see it with the enhancement, but you ain't gonna see it with the insight. You might see the insight, but you ain't gonna get the enhancement. Best of both worlds, baby. We doing them types of things. Look here, y'all. Grand Madam, Theo, my brother, Kamoyo, Anansi, Paul Martin, Diabolical, Anansi. Did I say Anansi twice? I probably did. Jay, appreciate y'all. I appreciate everybody. It's so many. I appreciate all of y'all pulling up tonight. I ain't got nothing but love for everybody that got love for me. I rocks with the Rock With Me Nation because the Rock With Me Nation rock with me. That's it for now, y'all. But fret not, I will be coming at you with another one of the other ones. And until I do, y'all be good. Be good to each other.